Having negative thoughts about other people is often hard to understand and deal with. Sometimes, for no clear reason, someone may be angry or dislikeful toward us, which can make relationships more difficult. In these situations, it can be hard to figure out what the real reason for the bad feelings is. This problem can get worse and cause arguments or pain, which can hurt relationships and mental health. The purpose of this video is to look into the reasons behind the bad feelings other people may have toward us. We can find answers and grow as people if we know what the root cause is. The point of this video is to give you a deep understanding of the different things that can make other people feel bad. Through the lens of old knowledge, especially the philosophy of stoicism, we will look at the 7 main reasons behind pain, disagreement, and dislike. By learning where these bad feelings come from, we can learn how to deal with them in a calm and wise way, which sets the stage for personal growth. This movie is also meant to help people change how they think about relationship interactions, learn more about how people work, and get better at handling conflicts in a healthy way. So that we can learn more about ourselves and others, let's dive in and look into the reasons of these bad feelings. Now that we have your attention, let's begin. 1. Illness called misunderstanding happens when someone thinks their view of a person or situation is different from the truth. It can happen when someone misinterprets information they get, or when they make snap decisions based on ideas or biases they haven't thought about. Misunderstandings can cause a lot of stress in relationships because different points of view can often lead to fights that don't have a clear cause. According to Stoic philosophy, misunderstandings happen when people don't talk to each other well or try to see things from their perspective. Stoicism teaches us not to judge people too quickly and to value how complicated their thoughts and feelings are. By taking a Stoic view, we can better see how our views are affected by our own experiences, beliefs, and preferences. Instead, we are told to be willing to accept that other people may have a different view, which is often where mistakes begin. To be Stoic, you must be able to listen with empathy and see things from the other person's point of view before you judge them. When we listen, we're not just looking for answers or a fight. We're trying to really understand how the other person feels and what they're thinking. This way of doing things lowers the chance of misunderstanding because we value other people's experiences and points of view by being present and honest. One important part of the Stoic response to confusion is realizing that judgments change over time. It means realizing that the things we think and believe might not always be true. Being brave enough to admit that we don't know everything lets us stay open to new information and different points of view. We can have more open conversations and better relationships with others if we understand that judgments are temporary. This is a key idea that helps us get past mistakes and build stronger, healthy relationships with other people. 2. That's the difference between anger and envy. If you want to understand bad feelings, you need to know this. Most of the time, people who are jealous are afraid of losing something that someone else has, like love or respect. On the other hand, envy is more about wanting what someone else has or what they have accomplished. Now that we know this, we can make better plans for how to deal with each of these feelings. The Stoic philosophy says that the key to mental peace is to focus on one's own ideals. When we feel envious or jealous, Stoicism tells us that it's more important to focus on our own success, happiness, and ideals than to compare ourselves to others. We can build a strong basis for dealing with these kinds of bad feelings by practicing values like modesty and humility. To deal with envy using Stoic concepts, you need to take a few important steps. First, we need to think about what makes us feel envious and realize that it usually comes from putting too much value on things outside of our control. By taking a Stoic view, we can concentrate on things inside ourselves that we can control and make better. Some of these are developing personal beliefs, feeling good about what you've done, and being happy with yourself. One important way to deal with feelings of envy is to talk about them openly. By being open and honest about how we feel and what we need, we can avoid misunderstandings and arguments that can come up because of envy. To avoid damaging conflicts, it's important to talk about these thoughts in a kind and understanding way. By doing this, we can make a space where understanding and support are intertwined, which makes it less likely that feelings of envy will come up in social situations. When you're having these bad emotions, the Stoic method not only gives you tools to control them, but it also lets you keep growing as a person and make your relationships better. 3. Value differences. Differences in values can lead to a lot of conflict between people. Values are the ideas that guide our actions and choices, and when two people have values that are at odds with each other, conflict can happen. In this situation, conflict happens because people have very different ideas about the world and how to deal with each other. It's important to understand that this kind of strife is not necessary. It happens because people don't believe in different values. The Stoic philosophy gives us a deep look at how to handle disagreements that come up because of different beliefs. Stoicism urges people to understand that everyone has values that are affected by many things. With this knowledge, we can see that value variety is a fact of life. Promoting an acceptance for these differences is a key part of making a place where everyone feels welcome and respected. Stoicism teaches us to deal with people who have different values by focusing on our own good qualities. We don't have to get into fights that are bad for us. Instead, we can think about our ideals and how we can live our lives in line with them. We can live a life that is in line with our values while still accepting the right of others to have their own values if we are honest and focus on virtue. Stoicism also supports open communication as a way to help people of different views understand each other better. We can build bridges to accept differences and avoid needless strife by having talks that are compassionate and understanding. Open conversation lets people share their thoughts and ideas, helps us understand other people's points of view better, and finds ways for people with different values to work together. By following the Stoic principles when dealing with differences in values, we can build a basis for more peaceful relationships without ignoring the fact that different values make relationships more interesting. Values are a part of what makes people unique, and meeting them head-on is the best way to build peace and understanding between people. 4. Projection. This is a way for people to protect themselves psychologically. They mix up or project their own bad feelings, thoughts, or traits onto other people. Its effects can be wide-ranging, from making relationships worse to making things worse in general. Projecting can also be bad for the person doing it because it makes it harder to understand themselves and deal with their feelings in a healthy way. By being aware of and knowing projection, we can take steps to lessen its bad effects. When it comes to working with projection, Stoicism is a good way to start. In this situation, Stoicism teaches us to stay calm and logical when other people make assumptions about us. Stoicism advises us to keep inner calm and mental balance rather than react emotionally or take our feelings personally. Stoicism not only tells us not to react emotionally to projections, but it also urges us to look at our own projections and understand how others see them. As part of self-examination, we think about whether we are unintentionally putting our problems onto other people or whether we are the ones being projected upon. We can act more wisely in this situation now that we understand it better. Another important part of the Stoic attitude is having empathy for how other people see things. We can treat the situation with kindness and understanding if we know that projections are often a sign of the person who is projecting's own problems. Being understanding lets us react in a way that doesn't make things worse and makes it possible for us to help the person work through their problems. Using Stoic principles when dealing with projection can help us become more emotionally strong and turn potentially difficult situations into chances to learn more about ourselves and others. By doing this, we can better build good relationships and help each other spread stories and gossip. 5. Rumors and talk about other people have a big effect on society. They can change how people see people, help or hurt images, and even cause people to dislike or disapprove of someone for no good reason. It's important to know how stories and talk affect how people interact with each other in a complex social setting. Being stoic gives you a strong base when stories and talk are going around. Stoicism instructs us to maintain our composure and act logically rather than erupting in drama or emotional outbursts. When dealing with gossip, it's important to think carefully about the information you're given, tell the difference between facts and opinions, and not spread fake information. Stoicism also stresses how important it is to be wise and think about yourself when dealing with gossip. Having discernment helps us make smart decisions about the information we receive, like knowing that talk often leads to stories that aren't entirely true. When we do self-introspection, we think about why talk bothers us and how we react to it. How we feel and think changes when we hear talk. Knowing this can help us get over its bad effects. To deal with the effects of gossip, it's important to talk to each other openly. Having a stoic attitude makes us more likely to have open and honest talks to clear up any confusion and find the truth. Approaching the people involved in the talk with understanding can help us understand them better and lower the chances of a fight. We can keep our integrity, lessen the negative effects of stories and talk, and build relationships based on understanding and knowledge by adopting a stoic attitude toward them. This includes not only reacting logically to outside events, but also becoming wise and reflecting on oneself to build deep inner power. 6th, people react to doubt by being afraid of what they don't know. It includes the feeling of unease or worry that comes up when we are in new places, with new people, or with new things that we don't know or expect. In this way, this fear can often get in the way of socializing and growing as a person. When you are afraid of the unknown, having a stoic attitude can help you. When we accept the idea of amor fati, or love of destiny, all of our events, even the ones we don't understand or can change, become a part of our life journey. This kind of understanding can help us turn our fears into chances to learn and grow. Stoicism teaches the idea of premeditatio malorum, which means to think about bad things that might happen without being negative. When it comes to fear of the unknown, this principle tells us to make sense of our fear by remembering that the worst-case scenario isn't always as bad as we think it is. This way of thinking helps lower the stress that comes from not knowing what will happen and makes it easier to be open to new experiences. Stoicism also stresses growing as a person as a way to get over being afraid of the unknown. We can make our minds and emotions stronger by getting to know ourselves and accepting that confusion is a normal part of life. As part of personal growth, we face our fears, learn how to deal with them, and do self-reflection exercises that make us more ready to take on new challenges. We can transform our fear of the unknown into a chance for personal development by using these Stoic principles. Not only does this mean accepting things as they are, but it also means taking steps to gain the knowledge and skills you need to face uncertainty with courage and wisdom. 7. Problems from the past. Relationship problems from the past can leave people with lasting mental baggage that can affect their health and the way their relationships work. Stoicism, with a focus on forgiveness and growth, is a key component of living with these effects. Stoicism in this situation entails not only suppressing one's feelings, but also realizing and accepting that one's past experiences do not always dictate one's future. Focusing on forgiving others is a strong first step toward getting rid of emotional baggage and making relationships peaceful. Forgiving someone doesn't mean forgetting about their pain. It means making the choice not to carry the weight of anger any longer. The Stoic principle includes the idea of letting go of anger and focusing on learning. It means going over old disagreements again with the goal of learning from them. People can find trends that lead to conflict and look for better ways to solve them in the future by looking at things from this point of view. Empathy can help you deal with negative feelings like anger or sadness that may come up when you're trying to solve a dispute. Seeing things from the other person's or partner's point of view can help you find a better answer. Empathy makes it easier for people to talk to each other, understand each other, and grow together. People can build a strong base for fixing relationships and long-lasting personal growth by being stoic when dealing with the effects of past fights, focusing on forgiving others, giving up grudges, and putting learning first. Thanks for watching this movie. I really appreciate you taking the time to help me learn more about the complicated parts of personal growth and relationships. If you want to make stronger relationships and feel better emotionally, you can start by learning more about how social and emotional processes work. We invite you to subscribe to our station if you find this content helpful and want to keep getting new ideas and good tips. You will keep getting information that is meant to help you grow as a person and make your relationships better if you subscribe. Once more, thank you for taking part. I hope that this video continues to help you. You can leave your thoughts or questions in the comments part, and I look forward to continuing to help you grow upon this path.